Hi everybody and welcome to Daylight Assault, Adventure 4 in this Dungeons & Dragons Castle Ravenloft campaign. Arjhan and Alissa have come up with a daring plan. They will enter Castle Ravenloft during the day while the Vampire Lord sleeps and steal as many magic items as possible. And this time, Emerald the Wizard have joined them to help them in their quest. Of course, not all monsters guarding the castle will rest during the day, but it will be far worse when the sun sets. So they have to keep an eye on the sun tracker. It will move every time a dungeon tile with a white triangle is drawn. The goal is to get out of the castle before sunset with 12 magic items shared between them. Alissa, the human ranger, has 8 hit points and armor class of 15, and she is a scout. She begins with the item Crystal Ball. She has the at-will powers Hit and Run and Careful Attack, the daily power Split the Tree, and then she has Unbalancing Parry. Arjhan is a defender. He has 10 hit points and a high armor class of 17, and he begins with the Amulet of Protection and a Potion of Healing from the last adventure. His favorite attack is the at-will power Trapping Strike. He also has Cleave this time, utility power Unstoppable, then he has Dragon's Breath, and finally Precise Strike as powers he can use only once. And new to this campaign is Emerald, the Eladrin Wizard. He begins with a Dragon's Breath Elixir Potion. He has 6 hit points, an armor class of 14, and he has Lore as special ability. His at-will powers are Thunder Wave and Magic Missile, and then he has Fey Step, Shield, and Lightning Bolt as utility and daily powers. So they already have a few magic items, but they need a lot more to complete this mission. Alissa will begin, and she will move and then explore a tile edge. And she explores a dungeon tile with a black triangle, so we will already here in the first round have an encounter card. We will also have a monster. And lurking in this corridor is a gargoyle. Not the best monster to begin with. The gargoyles are tough, and, well, we will see what happens. Before the gargoyle activates, we will have an encounter, the Passage of Time. Each hero takes 1 damage. Well, what a great start. Not just Alissa, but all the 3 heroes will lose 1 hit point. And the gargoyle will now move in for the attack. It will move adjacent to Alissa and use a +8 attack. The attack will do 2 points of damage and potentially slow Alissa down. Now we will see if the gargoyle is able to hit her. And a roll of 12, that's a total of 20, more than enough to hit Alissa. She will lose 2 more hit points and she will be slowed. And that way she will only be able to move 2 squares in her next turn. Arjhan will activate next. He will not move adjacent to the gargoyle, but he will draw the gargoyle towards him with his Trapping Strike. It's a +8 attack, and with a roll of 20, he will have a solid attack. It will do 1 point of damage. The gargoyle has 2 hit points, so it's not killed yet. And then Arjhan will explore a new dungeon tile, unfortunately also with a black triangle. It's good for the sun tracker, but bad for encounter cards. And the monster on that tile is a blazing skeleton. They are off to a really tough beginning. This should be daytime in the dungeons below Castle Ravenloft. And the encounter card is, well, this could be bad, or it could be good. We will have to roll a d20 and hope for something between 11 and 20, because then we will draw a treasure card. And less than that will give us a monster, but it looks good. It's a solid roll, and that means we will draw a treasure card. And it's an item. Good for the mission, a lucky charm. We will give that to Arjhan. So, not a bad encounter card after all. Still, we'll have to deal with the blazing skeleton, and it will attack both Arjhan and Alissa because they are on the same tile. It's a +7 attack, doing 2 points. And oh my god, the 20s are rolling here at the beginning of this quest. The blazing skeleton will hit Arjhan first, and then a 13, also enough to hit Alissa. Both of them will lose 2 hit points. Now Emerald will make his debut. He will move to the edge of this tile and fire a magic missile against the Gargoyle. It's a +8 attack. So that is 17, and that is enough to beat the armor class of the Gargoyle. The Gargoyle will be killed by the magic missile. And now we must remember to draw a treasure card. And it's another Lucky Charm item. Well, they have already found 2 treasures. And then we will explore the dungeons and a dungeon tile with a white triangle. So that will mean no encounter card, but the sun tracker will move 1 position towards sunset. And on this tile is a skeleton. Not the worst enemy, but we still have to defeat these animated bones. The skeleton is within 1 tile of Emerald, so it will attack with the powerful slice. +9, doing 2 points of damage. And let's put it here on this tile, and only a 4, that is 13, not enough to beat Emerald's armor class of 14. The skeleton will do no damage. Alissa will activate now. She is slowed, but she can move 2 squares next to the blazing skeleton, and she will use her careful attack that automatically deals 1 point of damage to the blazing skeleton. And with her scout ability, she is able to explore tiles, even though she's not at the edge. So she will explore a new tile with a black triangle. And what monster will await? It's a spider. Okay, a spider will be lurking down the corridor. But unfortunately, we also have an encounter. The heroes were lucky with the first encounter. We'll see if we can... this time it's an environment card, Haunted Mists. And this card will stay in play and give each undead enemy a +2. So that means all the skeletons and zombies and whatever. But not the spider, of course. It's not undead yet. And it's not adjacent, but within 1 tile of Arjhan. So it will attack with a +11 web attack, doing 1 point of damage and potentially a lot more. But it will fail with a 2, and that means it will not even draw itself adjacent to Arjhan. It will just stay on the bone pile here. The spider failed. Arjhan is not hit. And Alissa is no longer slowed. Arjhan must now try to get rid of the blazing skeleton, the worst enemy in play at the moment. So he will use his trapping strike +8. And with a roll of 8, it will be more than enough to beat the armor class of the blazing skeleton. And the flame goes out. And of course, let's remember a treasure card. And that is a great item, the Holy Avenger, that will give Arjhan +1 to all attacks and +3 if the enemy is undead. Well, great. Now he will explore. And a dungeon tile with a white triangle. The sun tracker will once again move. But let's draw the monster first. It's a rat swarm. Well, I won't say that they are harmless, but they could easily be defeated. The sun tracker is now in the 3rd position. The clock is ticking. And the rats will move in for the attack. It's a +7 attack. And if the rats can hit, Arjhan will lose 1 hit point. +7 is 19, so it is enough to beat Arjhan's armor class. The rats are not that harmless after all. The heroes are now in danger of being too far from each other, but Emerald will move to the edge of the tile and attack the skeleton in the back with a magic missile. 9 + 8 is 17, and the skeleton has an armor class of 16. And with only 1 hit point, the skeleton is blasted out of the way. And of course, a treasure card to the collection. And again, an item. Really, really lucky. Well, the lucky charms seem to work. And Emerald will explore. And again, a white triangle. And on the dungeon tile here is a zombie. Again, not the worst enemy, but we must remember that all undead enemies will be affected by the haunted mists and get +3. So the zombie will move in for the attack. Normally a +5, but in this case a +8 attack against Emerald. And with 16, there is no doubt that the zombie will hurt Emerald, and he will lose 1 hit point. Right now, Alissa is down to 3 hit points, and she's carrying 1 item. Arjhan is down to 6, but he has 4 items, and Emerald is down to 4 hit points, and he's carrying 3 items. Alissa will activate. She moves next to the spider and attacks it with her careful attack. The spider is gone. And that will earn her a treasure card. And it's an item again, and a magic sword. +1 bonus to attack rolls. Incredible. The heroes have drawn nothing but items, and they are now very close to their mission objective. But Alissa will explore, and it's a tile with a white triangle. And on the tile is another rat swarm, which is, well, not bad, but it's a problem because both rat swarms will activate during the monster phase, and that of course is not so good. But this rat swarm will activate first and move around Alissa, not this way, the other way around, and attack her. And the rats attack with a +7 attack. And no, the first rat swarm will miss, and the second one as well off screen, so Arjhan will also get through this without losing any hit points. Now the sun tracker is to the 5th position. So Arjhan is up next, and he will use his cleave attack that will enable him to destroy 1 enemy if he hits, and it's a +7 attack. He will attack with a strength of 14, enough to destroy the rat swarm. And the cleave attack will then enable him to move adjacent to another monster and deal 1 hit point of damage. So he takes out the second rat swarm as well. And even though he defeated 2 enemies, he will still only draw 1 treasure card. And this time it's a blessing. And it's +2 speed until the end of the hero's next activation. And he is on the edge of the tile. He can explore. And it's a black triangle this time. The sun tracker will not move. But what horrors could wait in this chamber? It's a skeleton. We know that, but it's an undead enemy, so because of the haunting mists, the skeleton will have +2 to attack rolls. So, what about the encounter? It's an event attack, Circle of Death. Arjhan will be attacked with a +8 attack, doing 2 hit points of damage, or 1, if the attack misses the target. So, +8. And with another 8, it's 16. It's not enough to damage Arjhan. So he bounces the attack, and now the skeleton will move in to see if it can do any better. And the skeleton has a +9 slice attack, and with the haunted mists, it will be a +11 attack. Maybe even Arjhan won't be able to withstand the slice from the skeleton. Let's see, +11. And a 4, it's 15. It's not enough to damage Arjhan. His armor will hold up and he's unharmed. Emerald is up next, and he has his own zombie to deal with. He will move to the edge of this tile, and from here he will fire a magic missile at the zombie. It's a +8 attack, and with a natural 20, he will blast the zombie out of the way. He could level up now, but I think we will keep some of our experience points to cancel event cards. We'll get 1 experience for the skeleton, and of course, Emerald will get a treasure card. And now it seems like we are out of items. And with guided strikes, all our heroes will get a +2 bonus to attack rolls to the end of Emerald's next hero phase. Not bad. Now Emerald will explore. We'll draw another dungeon tile. And it's a white triangle. It's very close to sunset now. Let's see the monster. It's another skeleton. There seems to be a high concentration of skeletons in the dungeons below Castle Ravenloft here during daytime. Well, we'll deal with them anyway. Remember, we still have the Haunted Mists environment card in play. The skeleton will do the slice attack. And it's still +11 to hit Emerald. And again, a natural 20. No doubt Emerald is hit. He will lose 2 hit points from the skeleton's attack. Now the other skeleton will attack as well, but with a different +7 attack instead, only doing 1 point of damage if it hits. And it fails, even with the Haunted Mist bonus. So Arjhan is again unharmed. So it's Alissa now. And she moves round the skeleton. Remember, she has extended movement, and she uses her careful attack to defeat the skeleton and get it out of the way. Another 1 for the experience pile, and of course a treasure card. And it's a lucky find, not an item though, but we can draw 3 treasure cards and keep 1. So this one should enable us to find another item for the collection. We'll see. 3 treasure cards from the top of the deck. Now we'll inspect them and see what we can use. An experience point. Well, not the best one. And this one will be placed on the encounter deck or the monster deck. Yeah, that could be useful. That will give us a glimpse of the future. And no items. This is surround them, a blessing. Well, I think we will take this one and then we will put it on top of the encounter deck. And that way we will bounce the next encounter. No items though. Alissa will still be able to explore because of her scout ability, and it's a dungeon tile with a white triangle. And that unfortunately means that the sun will set. And we will also have a blazing skeleton waiting, one of our worst enemies. But the sun tracker will move to the final step. The castle suddenly seems to awaken, and you can hear a multitude of foul creatures stirring in the darkness all around you. Now on, we will have encounter cards in each and every turn. And what's worse, the blazing skeleton will fire a fireball at Alissa. And with a roll of 10, the fireball will hit, and that will cost Alissa 2 hit points. She has her back against the wall now with only 1 hit point remaining. Emerald is down to 2. The run blessing is still in play, so Arjhan will move with extended movement. He will run all the way to this tile, and here he will use his trapping strike to attack the skeleton. +8 attack. And it's a roll of 3. Not good, but wait a minute. We have a blessing in play. Guided strikes, it's +2, so that's 5. And then he has the Holy Avenger that gives +3 against undead enemies, that's 8. And then Emerald has Lore, that's 9. And the attack itself is 8, so that's a total of 17. And the skeleton has an armor class of 16, so he is destroyed. It looked like a bad roll, but it was enough to destroy the skeleton. So let's pick all these cards up again. And of course, Arjhan will remember a treasure card. And it's an item this time. A necklace of fireballs. Great. Another item for the collection. And Arjhan is on the edge of the tile, so he will explore. It's a dungeon tile with a white triangle, but it doesn't matter. We will get an encounter card anyway. And we will also have a monster on the tile. It's a zombie, not too bad. And the zombie will be here on the bone pile. And then we will draw the encounter. And we know that it's our fortune from earlier, so no bad encounter will hurt Arjhan this time. But the zombie will move in to attack. And it's a +5 attack, but also +2 from the Haunted Mists. Never mind, the zombie fails miserably, and Arjhan is unharmed. So it's now up to Emerald to deal with the zombie. He will move to the edge of the tile, and then he will fire his magic missile. And it looks good. A roll of 18, no doubt the zombie is blasted to pieces. Great. And a treasure card. And it's one experience point. Fine. We have enough now to cancel encounter cards. But we will see if that will be necessary. First, Emerald will explore. And there will be an encounter. And also, of course, a monster. Oh no, the blazing skeleton. And what's even worse than one blazing skeleton is 2 blazing skeletons in play at the same time, because that will force the other one to activate as well. And the encounter card, it's an event attack. Animated armor with 3 points of damage on each hero on the same tile. I think we'll have to cancel this encounter. That will cost 5 experience points, and then the animated armor is out of the way. The blazing skeleton is not out of the way. A fireball against Emerald, and unfortunately, a solid hit. Emerald will lose 2 hit points, and that will take him down. And in the other end of the dungeon, the other skeleton will fire a fireball at Alissa and also hit, beyond any doubt. The fireball strikes Alissa and takes her down as well. And at this point in the dungeon, things turned from under control to complete crisis. The heroes have collected 10 items, so they still need 2 to complete this adventure. But Emerald is down, and Alissa is down, and they will both use our 2 healing surges. But for now, I'll conclude this first part of Daylight Assault. Thanks a lot for watching. I hope you'll join me for part 2.